What's up, guys? We have some police news. This comes to you from KTNV Channel 13, Las Vegas. This news station, they covered a incident where these cops in Las Vegas were ruining lives for no reason. And they messed with this young black man. But because of that case, I don't know if you guys know this, but it came out that these cops are using this phone app that deletes itself. And it's a felony to do that because they're deleting records. And it's come out that they were using this disappearing message app, and we're gonna watch this news segment, but we're gonna talk a little bit about that app. And I'll just say this, there was a guy, I'm not really gonna say his name, but I'm just gonna tell you guys maybe what to look out for. But there was this guy who came into this community and he kept asking me for money, asking if I would invest in this app or whatnot, and he wanted me to use this disappearing messaging app. And I'm like, why do I want to use that, bro? Like, I'll just use the app that I got on my phone. Like, there's no reason for me to do that shit. Like, I don't live in the old days where I would benefit from that kind of stuff, right? But I was like, no thanks. And that's when I kind of knew that not to trust this guy. Be careful out there, folks. If somebody out there, especially in this auditing community, they're trying to get you to use this disappearing messaging app, but we're gonna check out this news segment and let's see what we can learn from this. And maybe you guys can call your departments and make sure none of them are using that app.
I first learned about an encrypted messaging app called Signal while I was covering the case of Metro Sergeant Kevin Menon. Signal is an app that can automatically delete messages. I just wanted to ask you if you knew officers in your department were using an app that can automatically delete messages.
No, I didn't.
Metro Sheriff Kevin McMahill says he didn't know his officers were using the encrypted text messaging app called Signal, but grand jury testimony and evidence proves they were. In October, nearly a dozen Metro officers who worked with now suspended Metro Sergeant Kevin Menon.
That Sergeant Kevin Menon has been discovered that he's got some disgusting stuff going on as well. He's just a sick dude. But in reality, all of those officers named, they should all be facing felonies because they should know better not to be doing that kind of stuff. And they always tell you that they don't have to know all the laws, there's just too many of them in the books, but they'll hypocritically turn around and tell you that ignorance of the law is no excuse. So yeah, the cops have been getting away with too much for far too long, and they're so lazy that they have to go in and invent crimes and create criminals. And that's exactly what they were doing here when they got busted.
Testified against him, some telling the grand jury they used the Signal app for group chats with him. That included Lieutenant Travis McMurtry, who was Menon's superior. Menon is accused of fabricating reasons to stop people on the strip and arrest them.
All of a sudden, I feel a hard, shoulder bump on my right side.
In my previous coverage, I spoke to Marquise Brown, who police say was one of the people set up for arrest by Menon.
He turns around and puts his hand up and goes, you got a problem? What's your problem? I ask, do you have a problem? And all of a sudden, I just get arrested.
Screen grabs from a Signal group text chain show officers were communicating about arrest tactics. So we wanted to know, did they delete those messages? And if so, we want to explain why this matters. Under Nevada's open records law, it's illegal for any government agency to delete records, and removing, injuring, or concealing public records or documents.
So if ignorance of the law is no excuse, then why haven't they been charged, right? Ignorance of the law is no excuse. Well, they committed a crime. They absolutely committed a crime. So why haven't they been arrested? I think, I'll tell you what I'm going to do for you guys. I'm going to go ahead and put the department number on there, and you guys can want to redress your grievances and find out why they have not been arrested. It's a felony.
Is a Category C felony. One reason experts say is that those records must be preserved in case they're needed as evidence in court. Have you heard about government agencies and police officers using this app?
Oh yeah, government agencies and police officers love to try to circumvent the public records laws.
Las Vegas-based First Amendment attorney Mark Randazza explained to me why he believes elected officials and officers use an app like Signal.
They use it because their messages to one another are presumptively public records. So when the public or reporters or other government agencies want to see those records, they'd like to be able to speak to each other in complete privacy. The problem with that desire is that They don't get to have that level of privacy.
I went on Signal's website to find out what a disappearing message looks like. It states, quote, each and every disappearing
What does a disappearing message look like? It looks like it's gone. It looks like it ain't there. That was funny. Oh shit.
message will have a timer countdown icon that is visible at the bottom of the message bubble. I downloaded the Signal app myself and tried both deactivating and activating the disappearing messages function. You can see the timer countdown icon is only available when the disappearing messages setting is on. I then went back to grand jury evidence of the selected screenshots from the Signal group text chain. You can see all of the text bubbles have the timer countdown icon in the bottom corner.
They can be purged within a minute of sending them, 10 minutes, an hour, a day, whatever it is. That's a very attractive function because once the message is gone, it's gone forever because it's encrypted.
And if it's gone forever, so is the public record. Metro's use of the Signal app came to light during testimony in the Menon grand jury proceeding.
I'm gonna tell you guys something. I don't believe that the Signal app is violating any constitutional rights. That's why it exists. But when it's a government official and there's public record, like when they're on duty, here's what I'm talking about, public record. They clock in, right? They go to work. They're supposed to be at work. Even if they use their personal phone to, let's say, take a picture or text somebody about what's going on, then it's a Class C felony if you delete it. We're supposed to be able to get those records. There needs to be an example set here, without a doubt, so that other cops and other departments don't use these apps. Maybe do a records request to see if any of the cops here are using this app, or just call, get some information, and find out if they're using it, and record it, right? Let's keep watching, guys.
A juror asked one of the officers if there were records of the chats. Metro officer Stephen Casaro answered, quote, to my knowledge, the Signal app has an automatic delete. And Metro officer Eric Sanchez testified he took a screenshot on his phone to keep as evidence just in case he ever needed it, which is how we're able to see them and show them to you. Hello, I'm J1 with Channel 13.
Hi, J1.
After multiple requests to talk with Sheriff McMahill about Menon's case were denied or unanswered, I went to the October 31st Metro Fiscal Affairs Committee meeting to ask the sheriff directly about officers using Signal. Do you have anything to say about
Hell yeah, good job on that.
that?
It's against our policy.
And are you committed to transparency in your
Sure.
department? Brindazza questions if the app is a way to avoid transparency and accountability.
You know, generally, you use Signal because you're concerned about the government spying on your messages. When the people you're worried about spying on your messages are the ones sending the messages back and forth, it just wouldn't make any sense for them to use it unless they were using disappearing messages.
Why is that concerning to the public?
I think for a lot of reasons.
Freddie Martinez is a director at Lucy Parsons Lab, a transparency and police accountability organization based in Chicago.
When you think about that in the context of police officers who can just download their own apps, delete messages on their own, you know, it really kind of shows how limited the public is in even enforcing the public records laws that we do have.
So whether or not they intend these messages to be secret, the very use of one of these apps makes it seem like they're trying to keep the information away from the public.
Melissa Blasius is the senior investigative reporter at our sister station in Phoenix, Arizona, ABC 15.
Government officials' use of a secret messaging app.
She's also reported on elected officials and police officers using the Signal app there.
Well, in the case that involved the police officers involved in a shooting here, the question was, what exactly were the officers talking about during their investigation of a crime leading up to the shooting? And shouldn't that be important information to be later shared with the courts, prosecutors, and the jury?
What happened as a result of your guys' reporting?
So the city eventually put out very specific rules that said that you can't use a Signal or WhatsApp or any kind of encrypted messaging app to communicate.
There's a lot of things that cops aren't supposed to do, but they do it anyways, right? Like they're not supposed to drive 100 miles an hour, no emergency lights on. They're not supposed to park in red zones. You know, they're not supposed to turn without signal lights, run red lights, all the things that they do. Shit that cops do and get away with is mind-blowing. And they wonder why we want to hold them accountable and record the police and stuff like that. Anybody that's out there supporting police blindly, like they can do no wrong, they are greatly mistaken. You know, everybody should be paying attention to this and making sure that they're held accountable. There's a lot of reasons why from both sides. You know, obviously the Democrats want police reform, but Republicans want to give cops more immunity, more power. But I mean, think about what you're wishing for. Now, many departments, you don't even have to be an American citizen to be a cop. Think about that. And this kind of shit, and you guys, and it's funny because when it comes to politics, everybody's blaming each other. The red blames the blue, and the blue blames the red, and everybody's blaming each other. All the while, government is fucking doing this, you know. And this is why we are screaming that, hey, that things need to be slowed down here. Let's all pay attention. Let's stop fighting with each other, especially now that the elections are over. Let's start paying attention, man. Republicans and Democrats both should want police accountability. We have cameras. Why depend? Look, it was an uphill battle to get cops to wear body cams, and now it's an uphill battle just to get the record. And it's harder in several states. I hear it's easy in Washington and Florida to get records, body cams, stuff like that, but not in California, not in many other states either. So too much is going on with bad cops and them getting away with stuff. Let's keep watching, guys.
Business. So basically told city workers to knock it off.
Blasius tells me since that report, Phoenix government officials are required to retain encrypted app messages. As for Nevada, the state requires law enforcement agencies to adopt a written policy concerning the use of mobile devices and certain mobile apps by law enforcement. So I filed a public records request to get Metro's policy. The department sent me this administrative notice, which was addressed to all personnel the very same day that I went to the Fiscal Affairs Committee meeting and talked to Sheriff McMahill. It states, quote, department personnel are reminded all business-related communication must comply with Nevada law. Metro also sent me a list of approved mobile applications, and Signal was not one of them. How, as a sheriff, are you committed to transparency?
It's pretty clear that I'm holding Mr. Menon accountable in a lot of different ways.
I'm the sergeant, idiot.
I'm continuing to listen to your concerns and dig into this.
Definitely the sheriff of Las Vegas is dirty as hell. Oh yeah, one cop got busted for doing all this and all that, right? So he's basically taking it off everybody else and just putting it on the one cop who's disgusting anyways, deserves to be locked up under the fucking jail. But at the same time, that sheriff is not trustworthy. Every single deputy there should be arrested and charged, and get him out of there and make him an example for other cops and other departments not to do it either, because it's a felony, Class C felony, guys.
I'm also working to learn if any other officers within Metro who were involved in these arrests and were using this app may face disciplinary actions as well. So far, only Sergeant Menon is facing charges.
See what I mean?
On the Strip, I'm Jaewon Jung.
Hey, good reporting there. For real, for real. You guys want to read some fucking comments? Yeah, see what they say in the comments. How many people are locked up and didn't commit a crime? This is disturbing and should not be thrown under the rug. I agree, Zachary Fall. How come so many sheriffs and police chiefs don't know what their subordinates are doing? I call BS. Me too. Stupid plumbing. If it is a felony, why aren't all the officers charged? Agreed. They know they're supposed to preserve those messages while they're in the performance of their duties. Everybody involved with using the app should be fired and charged with the felony. I agree. This is why legit reporters should exist. Heckin' good stuff. Heckin'. People still use that word, huh? Why don't you say the F word? This isn't even a taste as to how dirty Metro is. Agreed. A drop in the bucket for police in America. This is how a majority of them are. Outstanding comments. Transparent police work does not include disappearing evidence and hidden communication. The Blue Line gang turned yellow real quick, didn't they? Thankful for reporters that are willing to investigate police actions instead of regurgitating press releases. Agreed. You know what I think these local news agencies need to start doing, guys? They need to start blasting the information of these departments on their websites, on the fucking, even on screen, in the pinned comment, in the community posts, in their description of the video. Yeah, start giving us the information so we can redress our grievances. You know, you guys tell a great story. I'm not gonna lie, she's doing some good fucking reporting here, but they are missing a big element. Why are mainstream media news agencies missing a massive part to their reporting? This is why we get a lot of numbers as well sometimes, guys, because we try to get some accountability here. You guys make calls, man. We use the court of public opinion. We know how to use it, and we provide you guys. We try to make it easy for you guys to call and redress your grievances and demand that all these cops get arrested, right? Tell them, hey, man, your ass is going to get voted out. You want to get voted out? Outstanding investigative journalism, J1. Stay on it. Dirtier and dirtier by the day. It looks like destruction of evidence. Charge them accordingly. If they were doing their jobs instead of forcing their will on innocent civilians, they wouldn't need to hide their messages. The problem is that police officers will not be held accountable for using the app. They will only get a slap on the wrist, and absolutely nothing will change. They won't even get a slap on the wrist. They're not even getting a slap on the wrist. That's the shitty thing. And still another cop is facing charges. We need more investigative reporting. I always like people that are not afraid to flip rock. Body cameras should not have the capability to be turned off or muted, as this can lead to officers violating rights. Agreed. Very telling that a sergeant and a lieutenant makes you wonder how far up it really goes. Agreed. And every officer involved should face the felony charges for this choice. Yep. I'm so tired of these bold demons who have no moral compass whatsoever. Beautiful. At this point, is anyone surprised? No, we are not. This is why they hate cameras accountability, and that's why I record the police whenever I get a chance, and that's why you should too. And don't listen to those guys out there that have bigger channels. They're telling you guys not to record police, but it's because they're only afraid of competition. Don't be afraid of competition, guys. Encourage people to record the police, and I'll give you guys a bit of advice so that those crybabies can stop crying and saying it's all my fault when people get arrested. Ask the cop, if I don't move back, are you going to arrest me? Put it on them. And if they say yeah, then your rights have been violated. If your rights have been violated. So I haven't been arrested many times doing this, and that's because I don't have to go to jail every time to prove a point. You know what I mean? So just think about that. You guys don't have to go to jail. Let's read a couple more comments. All those crooked cops that were participating with the sergeant's crooked schemes are now testifying against him. Self-preservation will make anyone a backstabber, silly humans. Attention reporters, if you get the officer's phone numbers and put them in your address book, preferably on a burner and open Signal, you will be able to see if they use Signal. Say what now? Attention reporters, if you get the officer's phone numbers and put them in your address book, preferably on a burner and open Signal, you'll be able to see if they use Signal. Whoa, that's crazy. Nothing ever changes for the better with these departments because no one is ever held accountable. Aren't government officials supposed to keep records of internal communications? Yes. See, this comment section knows what's up. That's what's up, though. More the reason to record. Yes, Passport King Marine Vet. Absolutely. Should we respond? Absolutely, my bro. Yeah. I should be responding to everyone on there because everyone's got good comments. We use news like this to teach our children not to trust the police. Outstanding. Please press charges for not preserving records. The reporter found out that the app does not automatically set messages to disappear. It has to be set in the app to do that. Because of that, every officer involved should be charged with felony. Word, Ghost Rider. No shit. True that. Man. Great reporting. It's not a bad apple. It's a systematic abuse, period. Excellent reporting. Please keep on them until those involved are held accountable, right? This is what I'm talking about, guys. Outstanding. But look how much more powerful this video would have been if all those people that were commenting were able to redress their grievances and just make a phone call to that department. Phone call after phone call after phone call. It'll finally, piss them off and maybe finally fire the cops that are on there, because all the cops are already proven to be untrustworthy. And if I was from the area, I would get every cop's name, write it down, and if I ever have to go to court against that cop, the case would have to be dismissed because the cop's already proven to be untrustworthy. So that just puts the whole entire city of Las Vegas, in a bad position, all those deputies. So with that being said, I want to thank you all for tuning in. Make sure you subscribe, hit the bell. We're going to be doing this a lot, guys, so peace out.